Welcome once again. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you are tuned in watching Campfire TV. This is Uganda at Crossroads. Again, we are here once again to talk about the future of our country, Uganda. We are just a few days away from an election in Uganda that is being highly anticipated to bring about change. This could be the time that we've been all waiting for. Remember, we have a president that's been in power for the last 35 years. 35 years. 3 years older than how I am. And we are hoping that this could be the time that maybe people like me and my generation could see another president. And of course, as always, we have a very interesting panel today. We have Herman, who is the coordinator, or call him, maybe I would say global or diaspora coordinator for the National Unity Platform. And we are based here in Massachusetts. And I also have another amazing gentleman we had last week, Mr. Kapalaga Bebe, who is also with us today in the studio. So, gentlemen, a very good morning to you. Of course, Kapalaga Bebe is not your name, so that's your nickname. But I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves to our viewers this morning. And then we have something for you, a surprise that we have for you today. So it will be coming on immediately after my two guests introduce themselves. I'll start with you, gentlemen, on my right, immediate right.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. I greet you all, comrades, and my fellow Ugandans watching from wherever you are. Like he said rightfully so, I go by the names of Michael KAKANDE. Yeah, but I'm popularly known as Kapalaga Biebe. I'm an artist, I am a journalist, I am that one. That one. I am also that. Yeah, basically I fight for human rights. I believe in equality, and I think I can do anything, to make sure there is equality in human beings and human lives. So yeah, that's what I stand for. And that's why I support Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu for President 2021.
Great. Herman, introduce yourself to our viewers this morning. We've missed you 2 times, I think, on the show. But we know you're a very busy man working all across the USA, launching chapters and making sure that the National Unity Platform is not running short of finances to fund the activities going on. Yes, good morning and welcome.
Yes, thank you, my brother. Every time I come here, it is exciting because we speak English.
Why do you emphasize English?
Because he knows I didn't want to come to this show because of English.
But I'm really glad to see you, an English speaker.
Oh, yes.
My brother, but on a serious note, I'm really, really glad to be here. It is an honor, but again, saddening.
I know.
For us, for the people who we think, there's an ideal person who's supposed to be thinking about these things. There's an ideal person who's supposed to be speaking about these things. Uganda has an embassy in Washington, D.C. The ambassador for Uganda in America, Mr. KAKANDE. His name is, I think, KAKANDE. These are the people who have the responsibility to talk about the issues concerning our country. They don't care.
They don't talk about
They will never. So it is a pleasure, not a pleasure necessarily for me. It is an obligation, but also a relief for me that I have an opportunity to talk about these things. But it is very, very unfortunate. The people who have the responsibility, the people who are paid to do this work, do not even, the word is, they don't care. You can lose your mother, you can lose your father, people can get shot. Nothing. I'm sorry if I'm jumping ahead of myself, but let me just say this because maybe it has been sitting on my heart for a while. I watched a TV show where people in NRM keep saying, we condemned that. I'm like, condemn? Someone kills someone and you condemn it. And that is it. It is mind-boggling. Like, a government is supposed to arrest individuals. That's what I expect, not condemn.
Take action.
They were actually challenging. I watched the show where Comrade Louis Rubongoya was on, I think, NBS, and they were asking him, you haven't condemned the rioters. I'm like, so now the responsibility of people who want to represent Ugandans only end up condemning. Like, this is ridiculous. They want, Herman, you haven't written a statement. No, I want action. I don't want you to sit and keep making statements. I don't want to come to this show and just talk about things. I want to do things. I want to make Uganda better. That's why we do these things. We only come here to enlighten our people. But condemning is not enough. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
No, but thank you so much. That was a very good introduction, and that also ushers us into what we're going to be talking about ahead. Mr. Kapalaga here has a very strong revolutionary song that he's been working on. It came out, I saw it, I think he posted it on his. But I want him to give us an introduction about this song, what inspired you about this song, and then we're going to be watching this song as it plays. It's a song that speaks a lot about change and how we need to work together as a country to bring about a peaceful relation of power. So, Mr. Kapalaga, tell us about this song before it plays, and what inspired you, and why now?
Yeah, I actually have two revolutionary songs. One is coming up in a few, when Pastor Wori allows, because he's now my editor. And yeah, but at least the Dunia Tekungura song is out. I'm an artist, and like Robert Chagulanyi normally says, just like Achebe said, we artists are the mirror of the society, and it's an obligation. Like we must show the world what is happening. Why? Because we move around. I've done shows of 5,000 shillings. I go deep in the villages, and I can always get a chance to see the way people are, the people's lives, the way. The poverty, people are very, very poor. But at the end of the day, when they hear about Kapalaga is coming, they start saving to see Kapalaga. Now, what can Kapalaga do in return? Kapalaga has an obligation to talk about what he sees in that society where he goes to sing, to talk about the different atrocities that are maimed at the people, to talk about the poverty, to talk about the Dangozi, you understand? So, because at the end of the day, I reach out to the different types of the people. I can sing from Serena, I can sing from La Bonita, but I still can sing from Chana Mukaka. And so I am able to see the very large line between the very poor and the very rich. There is a very big gap.
Divide.
So I can always have to sing about that. Now, in this Dunia Tekungura song, I am trying to tell those people that different people are dying. When you look at the president, I've seen the president. You see, the president of my country, I think it's, I always want to see his speeches because he is the fountain of honor. And when you look at him talking, and he isn't remorseful about the people dying. And, he's simply proud. I saw him I think it was yesterday, saying, yeah, you see, Chagulanyi was going to Electoral Commission, and no one was following him. He got the medicine. But what medicine did he get? People were killed.
Of course.
So, literally, the president is saying, the people were killed so they can no longer follow Chagulanyi. I don't think that is where the country should go. So as an artist, it is my honor, or it's upon me to bring out that message. Dunia tekungulwa. At the end of the day, every one of us will die. Today, I'm seated here with you. I'm seated here with Herman. Herman is my very good friend. But tomorrow, I will not be with him. I'll be gone. So even when you have each and every ammunition to your display, even when you kill, I was just reading about Hitler. He exterminated over 6 million people, but he's not here. At the end of the day, every one of us will have to die. Now, what do you have to say to your God? That I exterminated such people because they were not supporting me? So my simple song, my simple message in that song is, to awaken the people who are maiming, who are beating, who are brutalizing human beings, that at the end of the day, you're killing someone, you're beating someone, but you are also not immortal. I just saw a journal. I actually posted that on my Facebook. A journal, I don't know who he was addressing, and he said, we have an order to kill. We are going to kill you. Not leave out Tumwine. Tumwine also said we are going to.
I saw that general, I think.
Yeah. But then this general is saying we don't have the order to, because literally when they want to disable a civilian, they can always shoot the legs.
Yeah, he said
just
the head.
To disable. But he said we have an order to shoot in the head or in the chest. We are going to kill you. I mean, at the end of the day, you will also die. So basically, that's what the song is saying. That dunia tekungulwa muganda wange. Oyinza okuba ng'oyina amaanyi. Olwaleero I was watching NTV akawungezi, and then I saw Mr. Kasolo, this minister for microfinance. He had like huge thousands of crowds, and he was bragging, Zekasolo nina amaanyi. Amudemu abantu badamu Kasolo ina amaanyi. Ngamba sagala kulaba muntu atawanya abantu. Bwendabayo eyo basime. Eyo basime literally means
let them dig your grave.
You just dig your grave. You're gonna be killed. And this is a minister, okay?
Who's using such a
speaking to crowds, a mammoth crowd, a very big number in thousands, okay? And he's not tear gassed. He's not. There is no. All the army can do is, to
guard him.
Probably guard him and all that. But people are dying, and he's very, very, very okay with it, and he's bragging about it. So in the song Dunia Tekungura, I am talking to those people that NNC tori jikungula. You see, Muluganda tuina chetugamba nti bali kubajjamu mbao. Literally, each and every human being. You see, when a tree grows, at the end of the day, at least it has that belief that even when I die, they will make either firewood or timber out of me. But to a human being,
you'll just go the way you are. Anyway,
so that's the song.
Thank you so much. Let's watch this song by Mr. Kapalaga here. It's called Dunia Tekungulu. And then after the song, we shall come back and start to build more on the discussion that we're having for you today. Let's watch the song and enjoy it.
Baita kalenda mozi muli mu kalenda nakulolwa myukanga lwakede sebuli kyenda banatide n'omutakutulukede tonyoma yadde omukadde nekatulumuta waki kwemundu kutyaki teka wansi ono mugandawo
push a presidential candidate like that. How?
Sitana yobulumi nechikanga mwana wobulumi ukufa sitana yobulumi ha mwana wobutubutu umulesa mukomuko nena woina batu gundi nawe ujja kufandaba yaduge sonyeni nandaba nezo sente ujja kuzireka tezikwemazangamu tekungulwa dunia tekungulwa ebitwemaza bule gwatuma kale webale lekerawo kekagobako lero achuna bumusayi kati ekisajja kyakoze eki tekungulwa dunia tekungulwa ebitwemaza bule
Yes, welcome back, welcome back. That is the song Dunia Tekungulwa. So mwena abali mukola, just keep in mind that today you're here, tomorrow you're gone. So whatever action you take, remember always that you're not going to be here forever. You know, you're not going to be here forever. And would like to reach our regards to people who are mourning in Uganda. We had the loss of a mighty Muslim cleric or a teacher from the Muslim faith who passed away. And we are praying, we are believing God with you for strength, for comfort during this very trying moment. All right, so back to the studio. I still have Herman with me in the studio, and I have Kapalaga. Kapalaga, webala kayimba ako. Na yetu agalaka soko tutwaleko weekend we had a very huge procession that left Boston. And you guys headed out to Washington DC?
Yes.
And I wasn't able to join, but I was online. I followed the updates. I saw you guys posting.
Yore is not able.
No, you see, in the struggle, there are people like me who will not be seen on the face. But we are back though. We are either praying, we are either contributing,
no,
we are sharing.
There are people like you who speak very good English and will always, you know, push mugende banange mutufiri mukole, and you just stand and you know speak that very good English. I'm telling you.
But anyway, bring us to speed with what happened. The procession. What was the reason for the procession, the convoy that you went with to Washington? And do we have any results that we got in that procession?
Yeah, I think Herman is in a better position to speak about that being my boss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so sure. I can always come in where he's not.
My brother, thank you. Boss, okay. Since you've left it to me, it was when Monday this week. We left here and went to Washington DC to demonstrate, to protest. Maybe background information. The diaspora has two roles. Has two action points. Two angles of action. We are way luckier than our people back home. We have a choice of two things to do in regards to contributing to the struggle. We can contribute directly back home. So that means if I have $10, I give it. If I have $100, I give it. That fund impacts the work that is being done back home. If I have a laptop, if I have I have my car trunk is now, I have a box of medical supplies that are going to be taken by our comrade on Thursday. So we do, you know, if you have a laptop, like I say, projector, bandage, whatever you donate, and that impacts directly on the ground. The second opportunity that we have is that we have freedom of speech, unlike our comrades back home. Our comrades, you raise your head, you put on a beret, you don't know where the bullet will come from. You're just on the lookout. So compared to them, we in the diaspora are a lot luckier. Not only the diaspora, but we in America, because I know some countries might not let you congregate like that. It is COVID time. DC is on level, I'm not sure what level, but they are up there on the risk scale. But it's also the state's capital, USA's capital. So we, you know, we think, and this was organized by both the Boston team and the Washington DC team. We think that if we don't speak out now, I mean, we are supposed to be home and staying safe and don't move and do everything remote. But if we want to communicate as loudly as possible, we actually think that it is in these times, in these unusual times, for us to express the discomfort. Maybe someone will pay attention to our outcry, because speaking honestly, the USA has not been very forthcoming. So we went to Washington, DC. We left at 2 a.m. Can you imagine 2 a.m. on Monday morning? We drove. It's an 8-hour drive. We had a stop in New Jersey. It was like a 14, 15 car convoy. We drove to Washington, DC. We started at the White House. We did some protests there. We gathered. We raised. It was a demonstration. Then we walked down to IMF and World Bank. And these are key locations. First of all, the White House. America is considered first world, most impactful country in the world, blah, blah, blah. But after that, we went to, so that's why we stopped at the White House. Then we stopped at the IMF, and the IMF has donated $600 million to Uganda, but they don't follow up. They don't ask for accountability. Money is donated. We are not saying do not donate. We are saying follow up.
Accountability.
Because the money that is supposed to build our hospital ends up buying tear gas and bullets. So we want to give them a sense of direction. We are saying, yes, we appreciate that donation, but please follow up. It is being misused. Money is buying guns. Money is building roads in Congo and neighboring countries. So that's why we went to the IMF. This year alone, they've given $600 million.
Wow.
$600 million. No accountability. Donation. I'm not sure if there are some debts in there. I haven't confirmed that. One of them, the most recent one, is a $10 million donation where every Ugandan was supposed to get 100,000 shillings on their phone. Tell me one.
Whoever got that.
One. Whoever got 100,000 shillings. There might be 10.
Wow.
Where each one got 1 million shillings. $1 million. Yeah,
$1 million in one circle.
Who represented all of us. My mother, my grandmother. So it is a sad situation, and we were crying to the IMF and saying, please, look into the money you're donating to Uganda. It is killing, actually, Ugandans. Wow. It is aiding bloodshed in Uganda. Then we walked down to the State Department, and the leader of, the head of the State Department is Mike Pompeo. The State Department is in charge of foreign affairs in the USA. So we were crying out to the State Department and in particular Mike Pompeo to speak about the killings in Uganda. I mean, that day we donated, that day we sacrificed in Washington, D.C., did I say sacrifice? That day we demonstrated for the Zoom, right?
But it's also a sacrifice. You made a sacrifice. You drove from Boston. That's like what?
At 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
8-hour
That's
drive.
8 hours. So you drove 16 hours actually on that road, back and forth.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
This guy drove like 15 hours because the ladies in his car said, "We are not driving, you drive."
Okay.
But back to the point, we demonstrated to foreign affairs, a State Department which is in charge of foreign affairs, saying, let us look into the situation in Uganda. I was saying that on that day, Monday, police truck killed 5 people, knocked down 5 people to death. They were in an ambulance. We were seeing bodies. Okay? That justifies our actions. I think the day after they killed over 3. So it is
5. They killed 5.
They killed 5 the day after as well. So we were talking about these injustices and expressing our discomfort for that. So I want to thank the people who went and attended that demonstration. Right after, we had a meeting with the State Department. Not right after, but the following day they called us. And a few of our comrades, most especially our team in Washington, D.C., they had a chat with the State Department regarding the fate of the country and the like. What does that say? It says that some people are saying, "Oh, you're just making noise." Oh, you know, they call us hooligans even. Yeah. But I think we are communicating.
I mean, that's the strong move. You made the U.S. State Department, that should be able to guide the U.S. government on what to give. And they gave you a listening ear. They made the team. They made the congregation. They made part of the leadership.
Yeah, it was a virtual team. We are yet to see results from that meeting and the like. Also, our comrades in UK and Europe, they are in constant contact with some members. Our comrades in South Africa and our comrades in Kenya, they are in contact with some government officials to see how we can stop this madness. It is no longer just bad governance.
Yeah,
it is madness at this point. So that is what happened in Washington D.C.
Wow, I mean, I'm impressed to hear all that because
and I wish you had
so I was in the spirit. I was there in the spirit. I joined you guys, but I mean, it speaks a lot.
Yeah,
when you make it to the capital of the USA. And because I heard you guys screaming Pompeo, Mike Pompeo, and I was like, wow, this is a very strong declaration that's being made. And I hope that the US government takes it serious to look into the sensitivity and seriousness of the issue going on in Uganda, because I've been reading the statements they post on the US Embassy in Kampala, and they're trying to indirectly say something is happening. They give travel advisories, they give this, they give that. So there must be sensitivity somewhere. So I hope that the U.S. government takes it. Yes, Mr. Kapalaga.
Can I say something? Sure. I think he is overburdening the U.S. government.
No, I'm just saying.
Let me educate you. You might mislead the viewers. The first person who is charged with the responsibility of their country is the national of that country. Do you understand?
But
before we cry to
what
the
you
US,
said earlier is important, because the more they give money, and they are not able to follow up that money, they are indirectly sponsoring the injustices going on in Kampala.
The first person supposed mandated to follow up that money is the person who was supposed to receive 100,000,
and they never got it.
And they never got it.
And they don't even know. They don't even know they were giving that money.
And so my I don't want to burden to overburden another national with our problems. We caused this problem. We've been constantly going to the ballot, going to the vote, and not securing our vote, and not protecting our vote. We've constantly, people are proud that they fought in Luwero. You find people saying, I even have experience, you were not there when we were fighting. And they have not helped the country. So, the first person who is burdened with the problems of their country is the national and native of that country. So Ugandans don't say, oh, they did this, now we are waiting to hear a response. Don't wait. Your time is now, your time is now, your time is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, you see, the president, President Museveni, normally says, you know, the people power is sponsored by the Western world. You see, the whites are sponsoring them. I see them. And it beats my understanding why the whites actually have refused yet to support us. Because, I mean, the president says or thinks they are supporting us, but they are giving a deaf ear and people are dying. I think they should come on board and, you know, help stop this. Because at the end of the day, when you're preaching human rights and all that, and then sometimes you just write a simple letter, you see, there is violation, and we are condemning. You remember that condemning one that we don't want to hear. You don't condemn when people are dying. Okay, cut the aid to ammunition, because these big countries have a lot that they are giving back to Uganda. And the awkward thing is they cut the deals with the people in offices. I think these people should start cutting the deals with the people. The locals, the Ugandans, the Africans.
That's what they won't allow.
Because once they cut deals with the people in the office, that's why you see people don't want to leave. Because they are getting a lot of money from donations from the different worlds. When President Museveni was fighting the dictatorship then, he was always in Sweden trying to talk to people, to get ammunition, to get all that. We are here, we don't have any. You understand? But you can't say they are, you see they are supported by the Western world when they don't even have a single kasari.
Yeah.
We are simply sensitizing the people to know that it is their obligation to fight for their human rights. It's their obligation to fight for the Constitution. The preamble of our Constitution reminds us of the past that probably most of us don't even remember, because we were not there anyway. But those people who came in from the bush had that in mind, that we went into the bush to fight the injustices. We went to the bush to fight election malpractices. We went to the bush to fight dictatorship. And that's why in the preamble, the first thing that you see in our Constitution says, we Ugandans, having in mind our history, which history is having a lot of killings, a lot of brutality, a lot of election malfunctioning. And they think it is time to stop that. So that's why they came up with such a document we call the Constitution. And when you look at the 1995 Constitution, it is indeed a very beautiful document. It's actually, I think there is one person who said that Uganda's Constitution is far better than most of the constitutions in the world. That is on paper. But at least we still have that preamble. That the Constitution was written in the heart of trying to stop the bleeding, the blood bleeding. Because by then, there was no transition of power without the use of guns. And that is typically what took these people to the bush, to fight for the common people. That's why the common people gave them their food, their land, the people in the world gave out everything, to fight for their freedom. Because these people had told them, we are liberators, we are going to liberate you. And what did they get in return? Nothing. They were just, I look at people, even here in the US, who are a little bit older, they feel so disappointed and betrayed. They think Uganda has betrayed them. They gave in all they had, thinking they will be liberated. But guess where we are? Here we are still talking about liberation. We should now be talking about the technological changes around the world. How can we improve the industries in our country? How can we do you know where for example, the airlines should be now?
Of course, it should be very far.
It should be very far. I look at the president and the NRM, being proud of buying tukutuku aeroplanes. But when you read about the history, we've had several airplanes going as far as London. What is that airport? Heathrow. Going as far as Italy. Going as far as, all over Africa. And what happened? It was liquidated. When you ask where is the money that came out from the Uganda Airlines? Zero. And then the president is very proud. You see, I brought for you aeroplanes. He's telling us, but he should remember that we went to school and there is now what they call Google.
You can research.
We can research. Okay, is this the first airplane in Uganda?
I mean, I saw they bought a Boeing, and it comes at a time when the campaigns are starting. You can understand the motion there.
Definitely. And they will tell you, Ugandans, you see, this government has brought for you aeroplanes. But they never tell us that this government found aeroplanes, and bigger ones for that matter.
But also who is benefiting from that airline? I mean, that's the other question, because if you bring about a topic like that, people have discussed in length. If you look at Kenya Airlines, for example, it is making losses every year. The government has to keep funding it.
Definitely.
So airlines mostly are looked at as a symbol of power, a symbol of beauty for the nation. Yeah, but in actual sense for us, I mean, as you said, someone ate the first airline, and no one accounted for that.
I think the timing also.
Yeah.
I mean, a strategic country, you shouldn't be buying an aeroplane in times of COVID. When people are traveling the least, your country is rushing to buy airplanes because it is election period. It is. That's why I say this is no longer governance. It is madness. The priority should be on health.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So the misprioritization, the lack of direction, the focus on staying in power by our government is mind-boggling. I've never seen. I don't know if and I just had a son, by the way. Do you know?
Wow.
I just had a son.
Sir.
But I don't know.
Finally.
I don't know if it is worth if there's anything that can be clung on the way the government is clinging on people. It's clinging on Ugandans. The way that kind of okwesivako, I don't know a better word to use. That effort, the energy to convince Ugandans that they are the better option, and constantly for 35 years. It is exhausting, and if you're not awake now, it is hard to talk to you.
I just thought about it when you spoke about your son. You have seen one president. I want to assume that your wife too has seen one president. The two of you have never seen any other president. You've studied, you were born, you went through kindergarten, primary, secondary, university. You've come to USA. You did. You were a nurse, doctor. You were a doctor, a nurse. You finished that too. You've given birth to your son. And
he's under 7-year-old. It is.
I mean, that's the madness of the ISO.
Yeah, I told you the other time that when the president and his comrades came into power, my mom was in senior 1, I guess. Okay, so literally she was living with her parents. So the parents, the president was convincing my mom's parents that he's
He is
going
the
to
better
liberate
He has a
the
better
future,
plan.
that he's securing the
Their
future
future.
of
your mom.
my mom. Okay? So the president was telling these grandparents of mine that he's securing the future of my mom. Now, my mom gave birth
To you.
to me. The president told my mom he's securing the future
Of your mom's children.
of my mom's children.
Who are you?
Who are
We.
you?
Then the president tells us that he's securing the future.
Your
The
future.
same person is telling us now that he's securing the future of our children.
Herman's children and your children.
Okay?
It is ridiculous. It is painful. But also people, I think, people take a while, they listen into the things we say and they say, oh, you guys never offer solutions. So I want to talk about some solutions as well. Because I've had this cry, oh, we all know those problems. You've never told us solutions. I'm telling you solutions now. Can I go?
Yes.
Demonstrate. You never came, you should have come. You understand? Be active. Read about the ongoings of the country. Follow up. That aside, a government, how should a government operate? United States is a very capitalized economy. What that means is that there's free business, there's competition, man eats man kind of environment. You have to be very aggressive, you have to be very neat in business, right? If you want it to thrive. Why has the US economy constantly been a top economy to look up to? Even with capitalization, which what President Museveni tried to do when he sold off the airport, he sold off the airlines, he sold off UCB, he sold off Umeme, he privatized everything. Because he hoped, I don't know who sold him this idea or if it was a scheme to hemorrhage funds from the coffers of Uganda, but someone pitched to him, I think it was somewhere in 2000, where everything was being sold off at a rapid rate, right? It's saying that we are welcoming what? Investors, I think. And he still uses this line. I don't know how long we can tolerate. The patience of Ugandans is impressive. How can someone tell you we are welcoming investors for what? 2000, this is 2020, 20 years. That is his strategy. And the investors are constantly being given what? Money. I'll talk about the investor of Lubowa Hospital. This is an Italian furniture making company that was given 167 billion shillings. Wow. It makes furniture. It is brought to Uganda, given this money to build a hospital.
From furniture to hospital.
In Uganda, around the world, it sells furniture. In Uganda, it's building a hospital.
Wow.
Mix and match, right? But what am I saying? That if you want to privatize an economy, what works is, this is one of the pillars, the first 5 of the People Power movement, good governance. Not talking about madness. This government is mad, but governance. If you want to govern, if you want to head an economy upward, education, health, the first priority should be what? Governance. Governance
People-centered government.
Governance is that there's rule of law, first of all, because it is inappropriate for an entire government with 400 and whatever ministers to agree to give a furniture making company 170 billion. So you have to address the leadership problem, first of all. Right? Because there are people who signed off this money. The permanent secretaries in the Ministry of Finance. Right? I talk about Matia Kasaija, who's the State Minister of Finance of Uganda. He made a mistake on OTT. He came and said it is 0.5%. He came and said you're paying 1%. Then a few days later, no, we made a mistake. We should have charged 0.5%. Same guy, when they were buying aeroplanes, he said, Uganda government owns 1%, and then he later flipped his words.
And he's still
the minister.
The level
so
of
what good governance does is that that person is a disqualification.
Yeah.
It is like
Step
me.
down. Step down
It is like
immediately.
me. It is like me saying, I injected one patient and he died wrongly, and then I come and admit on national television in front of my bosses, I should have injected him with a bigger needle, but I injected him with a small one. I am sorry. They let me stay. Then tomorrow I kill the same person. I kill another person the same way. And these are the things we know. Now think about the things we don't know. The number of people, if it is in relation to the number of people being killed by Mateya Kasaija, the number of mistakes he has made and apologized for 20 years.
Now imagine how many mistakes he has committed and does not apologize.
So what I'm saying is that what we think is good governance, and people, it is sad that people still ask for this question, but I will answer it since I have the opportunity. We should be governed well. The restrictions should be followed. Things like the constitution need to be followed. Okay. Then these are the things, because if you're buying aeroplanes and it is a private airline, that's fine, but there should be a regulatory authority. Right? A regulatory authority makes sure everything is in compliance. Okay? If it is not meeting standards, then don't what? Then don't bring it on board. You know, if Umeme is selling more electricity to Kenya than Uganda, that shouldn't be a Ugandan-based what? Private business, because Umeme is private. You know that, right? So the thing is with regulation, which comes from governance. So everything we do in Uganda it falls back on governance, and that's why we want to change government. Because once that is done, health is fixed. Doctors will not be running around Mulago selling medication that's supposed to be free, right? Those people won't be in Mulago; they'll be in prison. And then roads will be fixed, because the most expensive highway in the world is Entebbe Express Highway. 2 lanes, the most expensive road in the world. Do you understand? But that can't happen if it is governed well, because you have an assessor who assesses the quality of the road and sees the expense being made on that road and makes sure things balance, right? And if there's anyone who's spending more than they should, that person shouldn't be working on that project. Okay? So that is what we are trying to fix. I see people trying to fundraise. They say someone needs heart surgery, they need to go to India. Don't fundraise for that. Fundraise for a change in regulation so that they ship machines and don't address problems for one person. Don't address for baby Irene. Don't address for baby Margaret. Don't address for baby Herman. No, address things for a country. Otherwise, you're going to keep fundraising. Yeah. Uganda runs the most fundraisers to aid children who need heart surgery.
We're doing car washes now every day.
Car washes.
Car wash.
Do you understand? So those are, for us, we are trying to change things from the entirely. Like we are tired of this. I mean, car washes have been done and all these things. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I'm saying there's a bigger focus if you want to address this problem genuinely and permanently. Change government. You know that Museveni, every time, and I'm sorry for speaking for too long, but just allow me. Every day he spends in government, we spend 1.8 billion shillings. Chagulanyi's campaign alone needs 3 billion shillings. It needs Museveni's 2 days in office. 2 days of Museveni's in office, our campaign is sorted.
Can you imagine?
So he is spending that. On top of that, he's spending on the campaign. So we are, and Ugandans come and say we don't have medicine. They come and say the roads are bad. They come and say, where is security? I mean, we have a promise to the people in uniform, the men in uniform, the men and women that serve security in our country.
1 million.
To get 1 million, at least. Because that money is there.
Yeah, it's a decent pay, really. I mean, that's like, what, $300? Something? You spoke about something, and I don't want to jump away from it. You spoke about the Entebbe Expressway. You know, I was reading an article where they said the amount that we spent on the Entebbe Expressway, in the UK, it could make 3 of those same roads. 3 of that same. The amount of money Uganda spent on just one expressway, that Entebbe, it could build 3 in a first world country. I mean, but someone said Uganda's topography is different. We have rocky
Oh
rocky
my
roads.
goodness,
We have,
that is ridiculous.
The gravel is
that is ridiculous. I mean,
but that was an explanation someone gave.
There's an underwater bridge in that links, some countries in Europe, and it is half the price of the cost of Entebbe Express Highway. And then while Museveni is campaigning,
underground bridge,
underwater highway.
Can you imagine?
Express. So Museveni is on the campaign trail telling people, I built Entebbe Express Highway, NRM government.
But what they don't tell them
money?
is that this money is what you're going to pay in the next 94 years.
90 years of your life.
Or maybe, I mean, if paying that money back for me is, if it is proportionate to the quality of work we are getting. If it was paying that money back for the entire road cover of the country, or for 8 express highways in Uganda, then fine, okay. But most of that money is running campaigns as we speak.
And thinking about policy, before we jump on it, because you are a nurse, nurse doctor in the USA, and I was doing also a recent survey about how many ICU beds we have at Mulago, and I was so shocked. The functional ICU beds, where people, like how people in the US have been doing, let's say, to put you on oxygen and stuff. What was it, 35, 45? Like the functional one. That a common man from Ulisa, where I come from, can be put. And
I saw a gentleman, I forget his name. He was, I think they were launching some sort of unit on Mulago, some new unit. And I told you it is madness.
For 35 years.
It was 100 beds that they were launching after COVID hit. And the beddings were all yellow. All the beddings were yellow.
Imagine?
It is so petty.
So political. Even the bed has to be
even
yellow.
Your health, even our health, is politicized.
No, we need.
I saw a meme where a gentleman asked the doctor, when can I? He was diagnosed with COVID. And this guy was asking, when can I return to the community? The doctor said, I don't know, ask the politicians. Because they are the ones who determine how long you stay in quarantine. In Uganda, it is
the
crazy.
SOPs are politically charged. But gentlemen, I think we all agree that there is need for change. And this brings us to a very important point that I want also, he spoke about last week, and people were very excited. That was about giving. How the common man, everyone in the diaspora has a point to play, has a role to play, as you said. Though you say, me, I'm very passive, I'm not doing anything. But everyone in the diaspora has a role to play. And for this particular change, the number one thing that everyone can do is to give towards supporting the activities going on back home in Uganda. You guys have been championing this cause all across America. I don't know how many states you guys have been visiting. I know every other week you are on a plane to another state, and we have just 1 month. This December only, it must be a very busy active time for you. Let me start with you, with the project of that you told us about last week.
Yeah.
How is it going? And just reawaken us again. How can a man give, even if it's just $1, even if it's $2, even if it's $3? How can people give, and why should people give towards this cause?
You see, before I talk about that, I just want to comment on what Herman was talking about. During the lockdown and COVID, that most you remember those days of COVID when the president would always come on our TV sets to talk about the COVID and all that, giving out guidelines. So he would always call for help, people bring in the kaunga, bring in the michere, and people, you see, Ugandans want to donate, and they want a country where each and everyone has something to eat. Ugandans donated cars.
By the way, we'll talk about, I remember the president would do a press conference and he was reading Kapalaga Land Cruiser.
He reached to an extent of saying, did these people give me this simple car? No. Take away that. I want a very big car. Literally, I think we collected probably over 30 cars or 40.
Or more, yeah.
Some of those cars have been seen, having military people following Chagulanyi to brutalize Ugandans, to tear gas Ugandans. It's so unfortunate that Ugandans who are feeding for their fellow Ugandans donate cars, donate food, to help people pass through this very hectic period of COVID. And then the government, after collecting these cars, because if the government was actually feeding for the people, it would ask for ambulances. But the gentleman asked for big cars. And where are the big cars? If I asked if anyone has seen those cars that were donated during COVID, if anyone has seen rice, because many people donated
bags of rice.
Bags of rice. Where is it? If anyone has seen milk, there is a lot of things that were donated during that time. That is where you can actually see that if they can steal these little petty things, what haven't they stolen? Now, what do we have as Ugandans?
Can you also include how much the president donated?
He donated, was it 1 million?
1.4 million.
1.4 million. He actually said, you see, I get a very small salary, and now Mama Janet.
We've been taken for a ride.
Mojo.
Anyway, go on, Bajwanga. Go on, finish.
So, what do we have to do as Ugandans? Like President Museveni said, we need a fundamental change. We need a change where we, like Herman said, our government is looking at the people-centered governance, where people are more important than the president. If we get a chance to elect leaders ourselves, if we get that chance of transition of power, where the people have a say in that transition. I wanted to read for you the preamble, because I was just giving you, the preamble says, recalling our history, which has been characterized by political and constitutional instability, recognizing our struggles against the forces of tyranny, oppression and exploitation, committed to building a better future by establishing a socio-economic and political order through a popular and durable national constitution based on the principles of unity, peace, equality, democracy, freedom, social justice, and progress, exercising our sovereign and inalienable right to determine the form of governance for our country, and having fully participated in the constitution-making process. So we are the Ugandans, they were trying to run away from all those that probably had kept our country behind because of too much bloodshed, because of too much ammunition, brutalization of the people. Now, we never got that. That is why we come up with the Fist 5, like he was saying. People-centered government, inclusive economic development. We believe that, if oil is refined in Bunyoro, or if we actually know that Bunyoro has oil, the people in Bunyoro must benefit from that oil. The people in Karamoja must benefit from the gold. But look at the good. You see, I looked at my brother Bebe Cool when he was giving the Karamojong shirts, and you know he made them sing, yeah, Papa, I'm 7, Papa. I looked at these people. This is the newest cloth they've ever got. The newest.
We've seen many of them in yellow t-shirts holding Chagulanyi's posters because they don't have what to put on.
Yeah, for them this is just a cloth.
And you will always find someone putting on a yellow t-shirt that was given to them in 2001.
Yeah.
Okay? And this is 2020. Because they've not had, and guess what?
Next Christmas in the church they wear that. Because I mean, as you say, that's the newest thing.
That is the newest thing that they've...
Have you seen the one who crossed out Museveni's picture on that t-shirt and put it on?
So, we are talking about the inclusive economic development. Not only one part of the country, probably Kampala, must develop. Look at Kampala. Look at the chaos in Kampala. Why can't we have another city built somewhere? Tanzania had Dodoma. And after Dodoma was built to the maximum, they now thought about having another city. Now they have Dar es Salaam. Mind you, Dodoma is still very developed. Kenya has Mombasa. And now it has Nairobi. Why don't we think about that? Why should everything, you find every office, every government office is within Kampala, and jam is like nothing. Then we talk about the land, natural resources, and environmental protection. The land grabbing in Uganda is the norm of the day. You will even fear to buy land because you don't know whether you're buying from the right person. Every now and then you will find people crying. What was that area? Lusanja, you know, Acholi, Luero, Nakaseke, everywhere in Uganda.
There's nowhere where there hasn't been a land problem in Uganda.
Why? Because, first of all, people were made so poor that the only thing they had to sell was their land. Okay? They sold their land, they bought border, they were hit by iron men. Okay? And then, those who remained with their land, these people with money, went for that land. If Honorable Kasoro can boldly tell you that he has all the money to buy land in Jotera. So you will find very few people having acres and acres of land in Nakaseke, in Ruero, in Chenjojo. Land belongs to just a simple clique of people, a family.
You know, comrade, and I feel like he's been quiet for long, but just to explain, exchange of property is not a crime.
Exactly.
And for me, I will constantly fall back to rule of law and good governance, right? Exchange of property is okay. Here, you buy houses, right? You can never buy a house here and someone says they sold you back to You'll never hear of that situation. Why? It's these houses here, once you get a mortgage, you're buying from private banks. You know, these are rich men that you're buying from, who you pay every month and whatever. But then there is an authority. There is regulation. That is what we are demanding. Some sort of equitable, just regulatory body for all these issues that we want to address, be it land, be it health, be it education, be it transport, be it the economy as a whole. Regulation is the biggest pillar of any government. And that is what land is, I think, that is what land falls under.
Then we talk about equal
equal
access to education, and health services. You know, like Kyagulanyi sang, nti emulago abayina ekikonde bebalaba ki omusawo. Okay? Look at Mulago. Mulago has always been the national referral hospital. We've had, I think, 2 referral hospitals in the whole country for over 50 years. Okay? And now Mulago is specialized. We are sent to Chirudu, we are sent to Kawempe, you know, those people who don't have money will reach a time when they cannot access Mulago. But why don't we build? But you very well know, like Herman pointed out, that money was released to build Lubawa. And money was released from our coffers
Private.
to the what?
To an investor.
To an investor.
It's such a shame if you look at the level of impunity going on back in Uganda in all sectors, not just health, road sector, transport. It goes back to
Governance.
You know, when the fish is rotting, it starts from the head. You know, we cannot look at the tail and say, oh, this tail looks bad, but maybe the head is okay. So honestly speaking, the whole fish is rotten. But we are out of time, gentlemen, and I wanted us to build heavily before we end up the show today. Let us just build heavily on the run up to the election itself.
Initiatives.
We have now 4 weeks left. 5 weeks. How many weeks are we left with?
We count 4.
Let's talk about 4. What's going to be the direction that, let's look at diaspora. What are you guys going to be working on here? And especially in the areas of giving, because I'm very sure that in addition, on top of everything that is going to be happening, the key thing that has to really sound so heavy is going to be giving.
It's going to be donation.
Donation. So just in a minute or two, let's give us a run up to the next 4 weeks. What's going to be happening, and what is your key message towards the Ugandans?
I will be frank. We want your money. You have money, donate. Donating, giving money is the easiest way to help this movement. Easiest, most convenient. You just dig in your pocket and donate. And allow me say that on PayPal, if you're outside the US, you can use PayPal. Just if you have a card, just go on PayPal and put the phone number and create an account. And they'll say there's a button that says send money. Click that button, it will ask you for a phone number. Put this number in there. It's +1 857 719 4451. Donate that dollar.
Repeat again that number.
It's +1 857 719 4451. And you can also use the email address nupmission2021@gmail.com.
nupmission2021@gmail.com.
So create a PayPal account. Once you have that account and you log in, click send, and it will ask you email address, phone number, or name. And then once you write that, you should be able to send whatever donation you have. Okay? This campaign needs money. It is being funded entirely by Ugandans. It is so fortunate that it is a people-powered campaign, in that human resource has been one of the most available resources we have had as a movement. Volunteers. We have only 12 employed people at the People Power Secretariat. Everyone you see doing work, those people are volunteering. So, we've been lucky, but even I think many Ugandans, it is a sign that many Ugandans understand the need to act. That's why they are volunteering to the People Power movement, because it's the most likely, it's the one that's most likely to succeed in Uganda, and it's on a project to succeed in the next month. So, 1, donate.
So you spoke about PayPal. The same number can be used on Cash App?
The same number can be used on Cash App. The same number can be used on Zelle.
Okay.
Okay? And you can send a text message to that number and say, I want to donate. How do I donate? I mean, people have sent money to me through MoneyGram and Western Union and all those.
And just to reiterate, so people can send even $1, even if it's $2.
Even if it's $2, even if it's cents, just donate. donate, donate. Like I said, we need 3 billion shillings. We want to aim up to that 3 billion shillings. Okay? So donate. We are not shy. I mean, especially for us in the diaspora. For me, I tell the people in the diaspora, we are not shy to talk about give us money, give the movement money, make the work happen. They say, oh, why doesn't he wear a helmet? He doesn't have money to buy it. We don't see your posters in the village. There is no money to make those posters. We don't see adverts on TV. Yes, some TVs won't play our adverts, but those who would, we can't afford to pay them. Okay? So donate if you want to see these things happen. And you can also donate to your local chapters. We have 30 chapters. I could read all of them. But we have 30 chapters. Canada, USA has 9 chapters. Africa has Zambia, Botswana, Kenya, Ghana, South Africa. Egypt, we are coming there, and Algeria. Okay? You know, in the other time zone of Australia, China, Japan, South Korea is one of the new ones. So we have chapters everywhere. You can't, if you really want to help this movement, you can't fail to find a way to donate. That is just an excuse. We are discouraging people from donating directly, giving money to people directly, saying kankweye cheta no kankweyo. It's not bad, but we are discouraging. If you want to help the movement in its entirety, we encourage you to donate through your chapter. That money gets transferred to the secretariat. The secretariat identifies need and addresses that need.
Like if I'm in California, I should go through my chapter.
Go through your chapter,
and then
the chapter channels to the secretariat, because then the secretariat gets a lump sum. A lump sum does more work than 1 million here, 10 million here, 5 million here.
So just to reiterate again, I've said this before, but so if I'm in California, how do I know we have a chapter in California?
There are chapter activities. Actually, California has a fundraising today, an online Zoom fundraising. California has been one of the most active chapters. So we keep our communities engaged.
So the folks in California, if they want to join the chapter, what do they have to?
You don't need anything to join a chapter. You don't. You are not a rigid member. We are not like UNA, where you have to pay, get a card. You know what I mean? But it would be ideal if you paid your $50 for a membership card, right? But even though you have just $1, donate that $1. It doesn't get you a membership card as per se, but it gets, you know, you are part of that team. So even though some people don't donate, okay? Some people are donating time. For instance, Kapalaga called out 3 days to be in Washington, D.C. He doesn't have the money to donate, right? But he's donating his time. He drove 4 people to Washington. Kapalaga. You understand? So it is not necessarily, yes, financial is the most convenient because you go to work, you go home, you donate, right? But sacrifices are there, such as time, putting in time, organizing all these things. You see, the Zoom event where you see Kyagulanyi speaking is not by accident. There's a lot of background work happening. The fundraising, last week we had one with Joel Senyonyi and Nubian Lee on that call, fundraising. The demonstration, there was a lot of people. We had people who said, I can't come to the demonstration, but I'll write placards for you. And they brought those placards. You know, Madame Rachel Walusimbi here in Boston. And many other comrades. Comrades, there's a lady who drove water to where we were departing from. Drove water there, dropped it off at 2 a.m. Said, guys, here is my contribution. So there is no excuse. If you want to participate in this movement, there is no excuse you can give. The opportunities are right there. Campfire TV. You're talking about people, you know, you're hosting 2 people power people. That is a big contribution. We are reaching masses, and I thank the producer for doing that. So, you know, other TV channels, we want everyone to be involved in whichever way. I didn't know joining this movement. I actually feel more that I belong now, but before, when I had just joined, I am a nurse. All I know is to stitch wounds, give an injection here, and, you know. But joining this movement, do you know how many people have been killed? Do you know how many people have lost legs and arms? Now we are fundraising for bandages in a political campaign. It is ridiculous.
Plaster.
Listen, a democratic election. It's called the democracy. Uganda is a democracy, and the presidential candidate has to wear a bulletproof and helmet. You still call that a democracy?
I know.
It is painful. So there's so much that you can do. Donate. There's a drive, again, through your chapter. If you are a nurse, you want to donate some bandages, join that chapter and say, I have bandages here. They'll find ways to get it to Uganda. Electronics, phones, laptops, projectors. We want to go educating people in the locals. We don't have enough projectors. We want to take those back home. Purchase a projector on Amazon. They're as low as $65. Order it on Amazon if you don't want to give cash, and call your chapter. If you want a list of chapter members, go to Bobby Wine's page on Facebook and scroll through a few posts. You'll see all chapters listed there. He'll be updating the recent ones that have joined the board. So guys, this is a collaborative effort. Again, outside impacting the people on ground, you can do impact. We have international relations. We send emails. We make phone calls. We set up meetings. We are setting up some electoral management. People have talked about this. How will you monitor? How will you do that? We're setting up some sort of electoral management system. So much is being worked. Just offer your skills and time.
Amen. Kaparaga, your final remarks.
Yeah, before I give my final remarks, I want to make an advert that the 10th president will tomorrow be the 10th president of Uganda.
Yeah. Yes.
I
didn't hear that well. I was like, what are you talking about? Yes.
Yeah, the 10th president of Uganda, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu will be addressing people of Luka, Jinja, and Kamuli tomorrow. You understand, today he had to cancel his campaigns because of the fallen hero, Muzata.
Yes.
Sheikh Muzata. So he had to cancel his campaigns, so he's resuming the campaigns tomorrow. So people in Luka, Jinja, and Kamuli, please stand out for the president. He will be addressing you. And then if anyone out there does not know their chapter, this same number that we are reading, you simply send a WhatsApp message. Probably I am here. We still need as many more chapters. If you think in your country there is no chapter, you can always be the leader of that chapter. This is an open movement. It's not restricted to Herman, Kapalaga, and No, it is a Ugandan thing. So wherever you are, you could be in Ukraine. We don't have a chapter in Ukraine. So simply reach out to that same number that Herman is going to read again. Yes, if you can.
857-719-4451. It's a +1 857-719-4451.
So that's the number. You simply send. Of course, we want money on that number, but if you think you don't know your chapter, because we are talking about chapters, you can always send a message, a WhatsApp message to that number. And then we have a number in Uganda. Some of those who don't have chapters and didn't get that number, we have a number in Uganda where we collect money from. It's in the names of Daniel I wrote. So it's 0703 636363.
How do you spell the name I wrote?
Oyerot.
Okay.
O-Y-E-R-W.
Wrote.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
W-O-T.
And then that same number that Herman read is on Cash App. You can already send as much as even if it's 1,000. I think 1,000 can fit on a Cash App.
7,500.
7,500.
That's the limit.
You can just donate a week. In America here, you donate a week towards the elections, and we have adverts play on TV. We have adverts already, but we have failed to put them on TV because I look at them and say, this is supposed to be our advert, and they were supposed to start on the 1st of December, but we don't have money. So we are appealing to you, Ugandans, that this cause is not a Kyagulanyi cause. This cause is not a AYINEBYONA cause. It's not a Kaparaga cause. It's a national cause. And we don't have any support from the Western world like the president claims. All we have is you fellow Ugandans. So please and please come on board. Please fundraise, give us money. Give us money. We are now fundraising for the posters in different districts. You can come up and say, okay, I come from Luka. I am buying probably 10,000 posters. That would be great. Ngatumanya Luka. Probably it is covered. You understand? But you people sometimes are on live on Ghetto TV, Ghetto Media. Ghetto TV was hacked. They simply hack in Facebook pages. Now we have Ghetto Media. You can be watching the president in Ghetto Media, and then you see a few posters. It is not because we don't want them there, but because we are financially constrained. So if you come on board and can be able to, to fundraise anything that you contribute, will give a change. We have adverts that we have to run on radios and TV stations. We have posters, and then we have elections. We need to support those people to man the elections. We need to give the polling agents, transport, distribute. We have the people, but we don't have funds to support them. So if you are there, fellow Ugandans, stop saying zenave Uganda ne family yange tevinkwatako munange bikwatako, because you are Ugandan. At the end of the day, when they look at when the US is going through your details, your particulars, it will say originality.
Yeah. Kaparaga of Ugandan origin.
Kaparaga of Ugandan origin. It doesn't matter whether your sister, uncles, the uncles are all in the US. At the end of the day, they dig deep to your originality. So that means your originality is so important. That is why we humbly appeal to you, ladies and gentlemen, to come on board. Please join. Hamani musaba sente mukasa mga leta sente zobulango chali wange naga atenze ninawo muganda wange
aje kumusala gwe
omusala gwagwa nayo even actually Herman ye wayo time ye is on leave for I think 2 months for elections to because he has a lot of...
But your efforts are not in vain, and I am really grateful to see that the youth, young men like you and all the others across...
Well, oldie man, we also want you on board. Mr. Oldie man.
I pray for you guys every day.
Can I make an appeal?
As we close.
You want to close, but let me make an appeal. I appeal to anyone with services. I think if money, sometimes people get very... touchy-feely on money. Services. I'm going to appeal to Campfire TV to agree every day to play 3 people power adverts.
The producer.
Auntie, I am appealing. It is a request. I'm going to appeal to those radio stations that they claim to be with the struggle. The TV stations that claim to be the struggle. If you're watching this program, and I beg for you to share this video so that they know. See the radio station by its actions. See the TV station by its action. See the newspaper by its action. I am appealing to you to donate space to this movement, and we play adverts, and we push our candidate, and we change our country.
Amen.
Thank you.
Just to highlight you before we close, Campfire TV has been doing live Bobby Wine campaigns. So,
nice.
Yeah, if you check. So they dedicate the time. Pastor Worry has a team on ground, some people on the ground who are doing that live broadcast and stuff. So, it's great. And I want to thank you guys for coming.
I want to tell Pastor Worry that I've sent you the advert for no. If you can play it now, that
will be coming later. But thank you guys for coming today. And I just want to really thank you for all the work you're doing and to encourage everyone. The number has been given. He has read out the number. If you want to give, you can follow that number.
Can he read it
PayPal, PayPal, Cash App,
Zelle.
Zelle. Yeah, you can read the number again before we go.
It's 857-231-3739.
And those of you who can...
Sorry, that's the wrong number. It's 857-719-4451. I read my phone number.
Okay.
And to those who didn't get that number and you want to give Cash App, you know there is that option where you just put that name.
The name.
So you simply put the $sign, then you write People Power UG as a one word. People Power UG, one word. Just like you hear the word People Power UG with a $sign at the start. The number will pop up with it has an umbrella, and you will see People Power UG popping up. So you can send any amount that you feel, even if it's $1. $1 is like around 3,500,000. It buys a bottle of water for those people who are in the field out there.
For Eddie Mutwe.
For Eddie Mutwe. So we are supposed to have
Commander for Eddie
tomorrow.
Tomorrow we are supposed to run a fundraiser.
We are running a fundraiser tomorrow. So people in the US, please, baby, come on board. Come on board.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Let's keep praying.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Pastor Ori, you have our advert.
Keep praying that we will have a peaceful transition of power. That's what is the most important, that if someone loses an election, they shouldn't think about something else, accept the results that will come out. So thank you so much. And the most important thing...
It's hard with the name Tibuhabu, right? In Tibuhabura,
it was a very prophetic name for you.
Tibuhabura
cannot be advised, right?
means you can't be advised.
You cannot be advised.
Nanta gambwa ko nanta wabulwa. Tibuhabu, like they don't advise this one.
Wow.
So we don't know who will advise.
So it is a challenge to say accept when that person cannot be advised.
We change that name in the spirit. We change that name in the spirit. He has to be
and in action.
In action. But thank you so much, gentlemen. And I hope next week when we come here, we'll have a progress report, a praise report about the monies coming through and to help the activities going back home. But most importantly, for you who are in the diaspora, pray for your country, pray for the peace of the nation, but also involve yourself in the activities going on back home so that you will have a voice that you say. Don't just say, oh, me, I'm okay in my USA. I have my house. I built my home. Everything is going on well. You have a nationality where you came from. Even on your US passport, by the way, they put from Uganda. US citizen, but from Uganda. So you have where you come from. So thank you very much, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.